With most of the new information on Jurassic World Evolution now dissected and evaluated, I thought we'd do a couple of summarising videos on the best, and yes, the worst, aspects of the game. That latter video will come tomorrow, wherein we'll discuss some of the things Evolution could do with improving before launch. But today is an optimistic day. Here's 5 of the things I love the most from my hands-on time with the game itself, and I've tried to keep it relatively specific to things I experienced for the first time at that LA event. First, and I do mean first, is this animation. If you listened to my original commentary video, you'll have heard me go on and on about how much I adore this animation, and it's because, well, I do. It makes each dinosaur appearance feel like a special event to be celebrated. You can skip it if you like, if people are worried about that, and if you're producing massive herds of dinosaurs or your 50th Struthiomimus in the endgame, perhaps you would skip it. But I just love it so much I can see myself watching it over and over again initially. It showcases the dinosaurs individually so well. Each time you get a new dinosaur skin, this is going to be the best way to see them. And it makes each of them feel like an important and monumental addition to your park. Which is actually really important because dinosaurs are not cheap assets in Jurassic World Evolution. Next up is the power management portion of the game. Frontier have said they want Evolution to feel like a management sim as opposed to a more design orientated game like Planet Coaster, and it shows in sections like this. Whilst I didn't get to experience the full scope of it, the potential is there in strategically placing your power lines, substations and the like, so that when the inevitable storms hit on the later islands and you do lose your power, well, hopefully it's not your Rex that ends up breaking out and eating your guests. It's actually a very realistic problem that you would have if you were building a park on a tropical island, and it adds this kind of nice, subtle, looming threat that you do actually have to actively manage. P.S. Hopefully it is my Rex breaking out. Thirdly, we have the Genetic Modification system, which I think surprised a lot of us by its very inclusion. We knew something was on the way, but we weren't quite sure what. Whilst, thankfully for me, we're not creating our own mutant hybrids, what we can do is edit and tweak the stats of our dinosaurs to make them have longer lifespans or more attack power, more defensive abilities, and of course change their appearance a little bit. What this also does is increase the popularity and value of our dinosaurs, which then attracts more guests. But it also increases how much they cost to produce and increases the chance of a failed embryo, which is a big setback for your funding if you try it on a particularly expensive dinosaur. If you saved up for a while to get that expensive T-Rex, you decide to do some genetic modification and your embryo fails, you know, you've just failed, basically. It's a well-balanced risk-reward system that means I can build an ass-kicking Triceratops to fight against my Indominus Rex, which sounds pretty awesome. Fourth, and it had to be on this list even if it is such a simple one, is simply the graphics themselves. The game is beautiful, it really is. There's so little else that needs to be said there. We played on what I believe was a 4K monitor, or at the very least a very nice 1080p one, and the game looked absolutely spectacular in live motion. When it comes out, if you have the opportunity to play it in proper HD, if you're on console, you know, a nice big widescreen HD TV, make sure you do so. The islands, the grass, the way the rain tumbles from the sky and darkens your vision, it all looked incredible. It is the best looking park building game I've ever played. It's the best looking dinosaur game I've ever played.
But we are gonna encourage one of the dinosaurs to breach our containment grid. We'll then react and see if our procedures and personnel are up to the challenge.
Yes. So at this point I'd like to take back everything I just said about this guy.
Last but, of course not least, is Jeff Goldblum. People were a little suspicious as to why Goldblum is appearing in the game. After all, why would he go back a third time? But I think the justification provided is pretty suitable. He knows this park is going to happen with or without him, so he feels a duty given his past involvement to make sure it happens as safely as possible. It's a little bit weak, but we have Ian Malcolm in the game, so who cares? His dry, sarcastic little quips coupled with grand statements on the nature of life itself is an absolutely classic Ian and Malcolm combination, and I audibly laughed at a few of his lines just on the start of the first island, such as his like and then sudden disdain for the head of security. Having such a big name on board shows a lot of faith in the game by Universal, and whilst the full gang isn't here like in JPOG, well, JPOG didn't actually have any of the voice actors. I'll take the real Ian Malcolm over the fake Grants and Sattlers any day of the week. And there we go, folks, the top 5 things I experienced. Of course, the dinosaurs themselves are phenomenal, though not without fault, and I overall really enjoyed my time with the game. There's plenty of other things I could have mentioned here. As I say, in the interest of balance, I'll be back with the reverse list tomorrow, the 5 things I think Evolution needs to improve on before June 12th arrives. But Frontier have already been open to hearing constructive criticism comments, little alliteration there, and I hope people give them the benefit of the doubt considering how well they have treated their other properties. Quick little shout out at the end, this video and all the others would not be possible without the support of you guys at home and also all my Patreon supporters who are listed up on the page right now for April 2018. Thank you guys for all the help, and if you want to join in and help me out a little bit, you can do so at patreon.com/bestinslot. Thanks for joining me.